ago, there was a really rare type of vampires. They only had one fan. And all the other vampires used to make fun of them.
Alright, how to not out yourself as a vampire. Step 1, be super vague about everything you're asked and have weird ties to blood in all of the answers.
Work at the laboratory. Doing research at the blood bank.
Step 2, be openly racist to other undead beings, I guess.
No, I don't like dogs, and I don't like wolves.
Okay, I'll cut it out. You're probably wondering what all this is about, and I'll tell you. The clips you've seen are from a movie called Crackula Goes to Hollywood. Freddie Roan, or Roan on the Phone's masterpiece, and a masterpiece it is. It's a very strange film. It seems to in many ways be a feature-length PSA, I guess, and dang man, I think if everyone saw this movie, drug use would be over, no question, and I truly think everyone should see this movie because, as this lady puts it,
we all know someone who has a family member that's using drugs.
But in all honesty, I can't really describe it that well because there's nothing quite like Crackula Goes to Hollywood, so I'm just gonna guide you guys through the movie and you'll see why this movie is so amazing and why I recommend it very highly. So we start out in a prison in Alaska where
inmates check in, but they don't check out.
That's kind of how prison works.
What kind of prison is this anyway?
So the inmates are discussing how they're afraid because they hear the darkness is coming back to the prison after recent deaths. One guy says he's not afraid of whatever it is, which I guess earns him his gangsta certificate.
All right, homie, you certified gangster? Chill out.
Next we meet these guys, who I assume to be in the watchtower of the prison, and they reveal to us that the circumstances surrounding the deaths at the prison are very mysterious and discuss their theories.
Maybe the warden's been the shanker all along. You know, they say these killings have been going on for about 70 years.
And next we see the darkness leave the prison, which is truly a scene to behold.
Man, did you see that? I'm saying I didn't see nothing, I didn't hear nothing.
Me neither. I ain't seen nothing.
Damn, I'm out of here for the night.
Now we find ourselves at an Alaskan frontier cabin crack party, because, you know, in the midst of everyone smoking crack out of their crack pipes, a new guest arrives, and the host informs this guest that they just received the best crack straight from Hollywood, California. Next, the guy kills everyone, and you're gonna hear me saying this a lot through the video. I swear to God, I did not edit this at all.
Hey, dude!
So he steals money from the crack party and skedaddles to Hollywood because of the quality of the crack. We then see a newspaper revealing that this is the biggest mass killing in Anchorage's history. It's reported all over, and the detective is transferring to Hollywood as well for some reason. Finally, after that, we see the darkness arrive in Hollywood.
Welcome to KRAC-LA.
Get it? 'Cause crack LA. And we get an intro reel that has an overlay of like blinds, and I hope you're sitting down for this one because Crackula has a jingle. So Crackula smells crack blood that leads him to Club Zodiac, home of a Dungeons & Dragons poster for some reason, a Disney's Dinosaurs poster, and another poster that they blurred out, so unfortunately I have no clue what it is. This is where we first see Crackula, sitting directly in front of the speakers. He ends up telling one of the strippers, Lexi, that his name is Doc Tavier.
What's your name?
Doc Tavier.
On a completely unrelated note, this guy sounds exactly like Steve Buscemi. If you listen to any of his voice lines and imagine Steve Buscemi, it just works perfectly.
Okay, well, it's after 3 and I must retire.
Just thought you should know that. Anyway, on with the movie. So, we meet this guy. One of the best characters, DJ Cornelius, who is played by the director of the film, Freddie Roan, and the only way I can describe his speech is that he whispers very loudly.
Way to go, brown sugar.
Afterwards, he meets with Lexi again and drops absolutely no hints that he's a vampire, as we saw earlier, and they decide to move in the same day that they met. Finally, Lexi asks him why he moved from Alaska to Hollywood. He answers that he has his reasons, and Lexi delivers the absolute best line of the film.
So, what did you come to Hollywood for? Are you like a wannabe actor or something?
No, nothing like that. I have my reasons.
Yeah, everybody do.
Next, it cuts to this guy, a crack dealer, chatting with his boss, explaining how business is booming, etc., etc.
I'm like actually like salt and pepper over here. Do 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 do. I'm pushing it.
However, I think there's a whole other subplot going on with this guy that isn't surface level. See, it cuts to this shot various times throughout the movie, even when it's established to be day for the other characters, and even so, it's still night in his world, so I have a theory. This guy, and some other characters, who I'll touch on later, are trapped in some sort of void or purgatory. Even when this guy's outside of the shot and interacting with other characters, he still seems to be in this void throughout multiple occasions in the movie. Specifically, in another scene that happens later, it straight up just looks like he's in the Upside Down. Alright, so next Crackula goes to Lexi's apartment and is once again very subtle.
Looks like somebody died in here. I love it.
Hey guys, did you know that he's a vampire? They keep chatting. Crackula gets angry that her ex-roommate was a witch.
I think she was like a witch or something.
A witch.
Hey guys, did you know that he's a vamp? So next, Crackula goes to a donut shop with crack addict owners in the morning where they have a real cop that acts like a real cop would.
What up, dog? Didn't the lady say there ain't no damn specials going on?
Crackula goes to the back to attack them during the scene, and there's a shot that is almost entirely blurred out because of brands, I guess. Now, something you'll notice throughout this movie is that whenever Crackula kills someone, they have like these weird green screen white puffs around them. I don't know if this is like the crack coming out of them or something. I can't really tell, but it's very interesting nonetheless. Anyway, so Crackula kills the donut shop owners, and then a patron shows up who Crackula also decides to kill, and it's,
I knew I shouldn't have come in a donut shop.
Okay. Crackula gets new glasses and a weird jacket, and the movie acts like it's a big deal, and then he gets angry when he can't cheat on his girlfriend. Next, there's a small scene at some sort of deli, and please stop asking me. No, I do not know what brand that refrigerator is. They blurred it out. I can't tell. Alright, so now we're at our second crack party, which consists of 4 college students, and I guess their professor?
Tommy, John, Kyle, Chris, Professor Arrow.
So the Club Zodiac crew comes over for the bachelor party, and I assume they leave before this next part, although it's not explicitly shown because, surprise, surprise, Crackula kills them all, and we get the best special effects yet. Again, I swear to God, I did not edit this. Now it's time I introduce you to 2 of the best characters in this movie who are also trapped in purgatory. They're listed on IMDb as Hercules and Big Time, and from what I can see, they're actually the most reputable actors in the whole film. But their role in the story is rather interesting as they don't really have one. They literally never interact with any other characters in the film and just hang out playing games on a turned off PS3 controller and talking about how you can't really get drugs because everyone's afraid of Crackula.
Can't call nobody, get the lead.
Hercules then makes some weird joke about how he's gonna stay safe from Crackula, and then the movie goes on. I think these scenes are supposed to serve as some sort of recap of what's going on, which I guess we are supposed to forget every half hour. This scene happens exactly 3 times throughout the movie, and it's not that different any time, so I won't talk about them again, but know that they do appear often, and Hercules and Big Time will forever just be chilling in this weird media room.
Wait a minute, so you mean to tell me?
Crackula kills a couple more people, and then we get a news report on the situation. I love this news anchor because she just sounds so disapproving while not making it sound serious at all, mocking the contents of the report.
Last night, 25 people were found dead throughout the city from the so-called crack killer or killers.
If I was a murderer and this clip aired on the news about me, I would absolutely be destroyed. I'd turn myself in instantly. Next, the police force has a meeting on how to deal with Crackula, and we learn that I guess vampires kind of just like exist in this universe and everyone's cool with that.
You know, this day's vampires are different.
So they decide to straight up kill Crackula, right? Because that's how the police work, but they don't know how to go about that because traditional methods such as crosses won't work because he's becoming more human.
According here to my notes, he's becoming more human.
He is probably thinking that he's becoming more human.
So what you're saying is that he's becoming more human?
He's becoming in touch with human emotions and feelings.
Wait, so you're saying that he's acting more like a human?
Why is this? Well, they actually offer a wonderful explanation.
It's not only changing his DNA, I think his blood chromosome levels are even changing at this point.
Now you're probably wondering how they even managed to gather any of this data. Nope, screw you, here's another crack party. Guess what happens? Yep. Next, Crackula meets another girl at an art gallery who he bonds over art after saying that he met the top results when he searched for famous artists on Google.
Well, I met Picasso, Dali, Van go.
Hey guys, did you know? He buys some art and meets the artist whose cat matches his suit, and I absolutely hate it. This has absolutely no bearing on the movie, I just had to put it out there. Next, all the crack dealers go to CrackCon 2015 to discuss themselves how to deal with Crackula. Here we meet the crack dealer's boss, or as I like to call him, the CEO of crack. What happens during this crack summit is basically they realize that their supply exceeds their demand and that they have to get rid of Crackula, which also benefits them monetarily as the mob is offering $10 million for his head. Something I want to take a break real quickly to talk about is how this film is actually advertised as Hollywood's most diverse film ever. And while this is very far-fetched and untrue, it is honestly more diverse than a lot of movies out there. But then any progress this movie was trying to make is a bit diluted when you have caricatures like this guy.
If we can handle this, we will have to take our business somewhere else.
Alright, back to the movie. It's time for a press conference. You can tell it's a press conference because it says so. It's time for the public to learn about Crackula, and they straight up just tell them, yep, there's a vampire, and people are sort of shocked. I don't know what the deal is. Either vampires are or aren't commonplace in this world. Please make up your mind. Anyway, so then Crackula gets his name in one of the best pieces of dialogue in the movie.
What are you calling this 1-2 vampire on the street?
It's a good question. We don't have a name yet.
Maybe you should be calling him or her something like Crackula?
As the mayor has stated, we do not have a name as of yet. But given how many of the crack users have been murdered during this, Crackula could be a great title.
We then see this anti-vampire merch stand, I guess, and I genuinely want to own some of this stuff, although I do have some questions about the pricing. Next, there's a way too long compilation of Crackula and his new girlfriend walking, and the only valuable thing we learn is that Crackula doesn't like his name. After this, we get a much better montage that is definitely part of the movie. It's kind of just a bunch of people walking in front of a green screen, breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to you about why they're still gonna do crack. This is where we're introduced to my favorite character, who is part of this guy's gang. He, the star of the film, is sad guy in shorts and a polo with a katana. I really don't know what to say about this compilation. It has a very odd energy to it. Next, the church talks about how to stay away from the Crackula villain.
So don't try to deal with the Crackula villain.
So with Crackula as the talk of the town, everyone is trying to get into rehab. The Channel 7 lady goes outside and talks about how she's filming for Channel 11 inside a studio.
I am just here taping for 11 News live in the studio.
This leads to some commentary about how you have to get rich to get into rehab. Next, Crackula kills Vsauce, and then he has a conversation with his girlfriend where she goes off on how to get off drugs, which is sweet and nice for them to include as it adds to the PSA value of the movie. So next, there's this real weird scene where the crack dealer dude goes out and takes a walk. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't that mean he's out of purgatory? Absolutely not. There's nothing more purgatorious than the scene that's about to unfold. So a bunch of kids, like actual kids, one straight up like a toddler, pull up to the neighborhood crack dealer and make fun of the fact that he's lost business due to Crackula and how he's never gonna have control of the neighborhood again. And he just kind of lets them bully him, even though he's allegedly like the kingpin of the area. I really have no clue what's going on in this scene. It's so weird. I genuinely have trouble processing it. What is this?
This block will never be yours again. Since, we can't get any more customers.
Shut up!
So there's another segment about how everyone is trying to get off drugs. The news interviews this guy who's been smoking drugs ever since Ronald Reagan was the president.
I've been smoking drugs ever since Ronald Reagan was president, lady.
Okay, so next, the boys break into Crackula's old apartment and interrogate his former roommate. She, of course, budges when she hears the reward.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $10 million.
So they come over when they know Crackula is going to be there and wait for him in the darkness. Alright, vote now on your phones. What happens next? A, Crackula kills the gangsters. B, the gangsters kill Crackula. Or C, Crackula just like screams for some reason.
What the hell is this?
So that's the end of Crackula Goes to Hollywood, it seems, but fear not, the movie itself actually contains a trailer for the second part, Crackula Goes to New York City, which doesn't exist as far as I could tell. F's in the chat, please. Luckily, though, the trailer seems to tie up any loose ends that the movie left, albeit through green screening. Crackula survived the screaming encounter and moved to New York with his girlfriend. His girlfriend started a rehab center there where she treats drug addicts such as this guy who's laughing at the movie he's in. But here's the twist that will shock you to your core. Crackula also works at the rehab center. I bet you can't see where this is going. So that's pretty much it. There is a scene right before the end credits that has a bunch of women dancing in front of a green screen saying the Crackula barmaids, but I don't want to talk about it. It confuses and scares me. I don't know why it's there. Crackula Goes to Hollywood is, in all honesty, the most interesting PSA I've ever seen. It's a very roundabout and indirect way of being like, yep, if you do drugs, you're gonna die. The boogeyman's gonna get you. Listen, I'm not a movie reviewer. I just wanted to make a video about this movie. I'm not gonna do an in-depth analysis of a film called Crackula Goes to Hollywood, but believe it or not, not, I do actually recommend it, sorta. Is Crackula a good movie? According to Freddie Roan's 6 Amazon accounts, very much so. Fun, hip, cult classic. Please watch. Worth watching. It's one of those kind of movie that you watch when you just need to get lost in and forget about your own life. That review is correct. It's fun and worth watching. Is it good in the conventional sense of the word? No, not really, not at all. But who needs a movie to be well made or good? All that matters is that it has Hercules at big time, baby! In all honesty though, I'll tell you something. I spent money actively trying to watch this movie in particular, and in the age of streaming services such as Netflix and Yahoo View, I don't do that very often, and I do not regret my purchase for a second. I made this video because I want more people to know about this movie, and this is really the only way I know how to even try to do that, because in the world of good bad movies, Crackula is my favorite. It's so much fun, and I highly recommend you go watch it for yourself. There is so much I couldn't really get across in this video, and watching this movie is just such an experience, dude. You'll feel emotions you never knew existed watching it. So, if you're into that sort of thing, grab a like-minded friend, rent Crackula, and change your life.